Good evening and welcome to the Radical Race Series Round 3 live from Road Atlanta in America. I am James Parfitt, and tonight I'm not joined by Ewan O'Leary. Ewan's got a night off. I am joined by the one, the only, the mighty Australian, the man from down under. Dean Biggles is here in the booth with me this evening. So Road Atlanta, guys, 3 configurations it's had previously in the past. 2 are currently active at the moment, and we are here at the Grand Prix circuit. Current track length 4.088 kilometers. 2.54 miles and 12 turns, and a track record of 1.07.056 set by Christian Klein in a Peugeot 908 HDI FAP 2008 LMP1, believe it or not. This track currently holds the IMSA Sports Car Championship, the Moto America and the Trans Am Series. And tonight it's going to hold the SR10s from the Radical Race Series, zooming around this circuit on what is an absolutely epic circuit. I love this track, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Welcome in Ivan Bramer, Phil across the pond, CGMSA. Welcome in as well, and also I believe Biggles actually jumped in there first. So, you know, got to give Biggles a shout out for being the first there, Phil. You're going to have to jump in a little bit earlier. Colin Wynn, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us, and Damien G popping in at the bottom. But I think it's time to bring Mr. Dean Biggles into the booth. Good evening, young sir. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Back in the United States of America. I wasn't actually the first. CJMSA was the first.
Oh, well, there you go.
But to finish first, you first have to finish. And the practice will be finishing in just under 5 minutes.
Yeah, and what an absolute epic week it was last week at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit as well. Simon Edwards was lucky to get second place. It was won by John McCutcheon there with Luke Maxwell, who got himself all tied up within the race. It was an absolute epic evening of racing, and if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch the Gilles Villeneuve one live on the JPB YouTube channel. We have got a sprint and feature here from Road Atlanta. The sprint is going to be 11 laps. The feature race will be 18, and it'll be a reverse top 10. So there we go. The leaders will go from first to last, and that brings us nicely in to the current championship standings here this evening as well. As you can see, Simon Edwards is currently topping the timing tower on 95 points. John McCutcheon on 92. Mike Bousson 65, tied with Robert Woodward there. Colin Wynn closely behind on 64. Dan Webster on 62. Paul Clark in on 60 in 7th. Jamie Bird in 8th. David Rolliston 9th. Paula May in 10th, Darryl Taylor down in 11th. Then we've got Andrew Derrick in 12th, James Child in 13th, Martina Ward in 14th, Phil Glover 15th, Luke Maxwell 16th, David Ward in 17th, and Damien G down in 18th place. Then beyond that, we've got the 2 Graham Browns from Team GB on 24 and 22 points respectively. David Beasley on 21. Jorge Gonzaga on 14. Phil Jocelyn on 12. And the other non-scorers at the bottom there as well. Okay, so we've been to Road Atlanta numerous amounts of times. It's got 12 corners, but everyone is epic. And, you know, I want to know, what are we going to be looking out for here tonight, Dean? Because obviously, you know, there can be a lot going on. You know, we've got a long back straight, which is longer than my town's high street, you know, and anything could go wrong going into turn 10A and 10B there, down at the bottom of the hill in the chicane. So where do we think overtakes are going to happen then? Because is it going to be all down into that chicane at a 10?
Yeah, and if you don't get it there, you got that back straight, and then maybe that little kink into 11, 12, I think it is. That's another opportunity, but as you said before, well, everything's bigger than streets in the United Kingdom, my friend. That's why here in the United States of America, we actually probably should look at buying a house here at some point in the future. So many times we're here at Atlanta, Road Atlanta.
I think that's the thing.
But yeah, that's your overtaking opportunities, mate. If you're crazy to go through the S's, maybe. Well, we've seen it before in certain categories. I'm not quite sure if they can do it in the radicals.
No,
time will tell.
No, I've seen it in the multi-class in LMP1, LMP2. So let's jump on board with Damien G as we go down into the first corner. He's going to be taking it down in 4th gear. He's got to get that radical turned. So much oversteer as he comes uphill. into turn 2 and turn 3. You missed that one, you're in trouble because you're going off on the left-hand side. Now we come rolling in through the S's, turning early for 4. Oh, we got late there coming over 5. You've got to be brave at 5. Take curb if you dare. Take curb if you dare. He dared. Didn't quite work out as we run on the way down into 6 and 7. The double right-hander dropping down into the gears. Into third gear we're going to go. Got to get it lined up, ready to go. And then in again, down into second here. 4-7. Now this is where the numbers go a bit squiggly. As we know, we're in America, so we've got turn 8 that we're going across now, and then we're going to be going down turn 9, which is the right-hander as it drops down the hill into the chicane. Okay, so we're going to be going down turn 9 now. That turn 9, and then we're coming into 10A, which is the first exit in, and then we've got 10B on the way out. Then we've got 11 under the bridge about now, and then we're going to roll round 12, which is the last corner on the circuit, and that is a lap at Atlanta, and that gives you a time of 1:14. Damien G's last time 1:16.92. So there we go. It's a very fast lap, right? And you've just saw it there on board with G. There's so many things that he could go wrong, so many things here that he could miss. You know, the oversteer into 4 as he's coming in down through the S's. Exit curb on 5 caused him just as many problems. And trying to hook it up for the chicane down in 10A and 10B, there was so much oversteer on it. You know, what have these guys got to do with these cars to actually get them to work? Because they're a complicated piece of machinery.
You're asking the wrong person about that technical-wise, about how to tune the cars. Think they know better? This man knows better pretty much than anybody else at the championship. This Simon, at the moment, Edwards, if he's a unicorn-coloured car, I love the livery on that. You won't miss him.
No,
if you're going to be red at the back or blue, if you're the rear bumper, you'll be red. If you're looking in the mirrors at him, you'll be blue, purple. Yeah,
4-time
7K
champion.
iRacing too, mate. There you go.
Yeah.
How'd you like that on your resume?
Well, to be fair, I don't know if putting that on the resume would make any difference to me in general. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if the man, if I'm going for a director's job, saw that I had a 7K IR, whether or not he'd give it to me. I don't really think. I don't know if he cares. Do you know what I mean? In a polite
depends if you're going for an esports as a contract or not. That may very well be the only time you'd be acknowledged for it. But he knows he's quick, obviously. And some of the other drivers, so we got John as well too, the Scotsman that's at 6.4K, but that'll be it for our practice session. It's over, now it's time to earn the big bucks of your qualifying.
3 laps here, or 10 minutes, guys, as well. They need to watch out for the landmine at turn 5 on a South African touring car this week. It got 1 car on each race. Yeah, turn 5 is a very horrible corner, and it's that thin line between taking curb on the entrance, trying to miss the exit, or trying to run the exit curb and hoping and praying that the car sticks. Because otherwise, if you go out onto that bouncy exit curb on the right-hand side, you are in trouble. He's going to have to come round. You see it here, that's turn 5. He's smoothened out that, and that's about as much as you want to take. But you need to do that at a faster rate. Good evening, John. Why are you not in quali? Sat in YouTube chat, there's there. But he needs to be able to, you know, they have got an open setup to play with. They can play with an open setup here, which is great. But they have got to watch turn 5, because it will be the one that's going to come out and literally bite them on the bottom, because I'm expecting it to claim some victims this evening. And I think there's going to be a lot of people in the right-hand side wall, or they're going to be on that right-hand curb, and then they're going to be spinning to the left-hand side of the track. That's
I hope so.
opinion.
Yeah, it'll bring some entertainment to it, won't it? It'll spice things up a little bit. Sure, the drivers don't want to be in that club, no doubt. John will be hopefully in the session soon. Show him as grayed out, but he was in the practice session earlier. We'll have to get this link. I'll have to get this link out there in the bot as well too there, James, so that we can allow some of these drivers to have this voice to text, so they can actually chat to us whilst they're driving or practicing as well too. So I'll get that link out there for people if they want to be able to use that with their iRacing, as you can watch on board there.
Simon's full pace. He's going to go again. I love watching Simon Edwards drive. The way he drives is absolutely incredible. He was so lucky last week in Gilles Villeneuve. Like, he was involved in a tangle, dropped all the way down the order, and the people in front were involved as well, and it was all complicated. He managed to get second place. He even come in. I said to him, Simon, what happened? He went, don't. He said, don't. It was just not good. It was not a good evening for Simon Edwards. He got lucky on his second place. And that was it there as well. But Simon coming along, currently purple in sector 3 as well. The fastest man currently on track in that sector, which is what we're expecting from the 4-time champion here. And it sounds good when you say it like that, the 4-time champion here for the Radical Race Series. So let's see how he does. He's going to come across the line now. What is the time on the board from Mr. Edwards? It's a 1:14.48, pipped by Dan Webster. Currently on a 1:14.455. Mike Busson's got some speed here as well. The nearly man from last season. He finished second place more times than anybody I can remember. He goes up into pole. Busson on pole on a 1:14.4. Wow. He's going to be excited. Yeah, he's going to be excited in that camp. Poor old Mike last season was so close. Oh, no. All right. I'm just digging him up.
I just hit the fence anyway, my friend. He can just hit the button and magically appear back in the pit lane. He's actually going to go drive it back in the pit lane now.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yes.
I haven't seen this button yet. I haven't used this.
Oh, the magic reappear back in the pit lane? Yes, that's there.
Yeah, I've heard it's there. I haven't actually used it myself. I'm not going to lie.
You can see I disagree with that in the simulation. They should have to drive their way back. If you DNF yourself out of qualifying, you DNF out that. But I'm not the rules. I'm not the dictator of that one. No. As you said, Simon now in P4. You see, he's a 4-time champion. Well, he needs 4 purples next to his name, mate, and he could very well be on the top of the timesheets. Yeah, you can see how much oversteer into the corner. You just spot your braking point, your angle incorrect on that one, and that's just compromise your whole exit. You got to do it all again.
Yeah, I think Colin Wynn is going to have to go again. Puts himself in 8th place, well, 9th now. The guys in front have gone quicker. John McCutcheon is out on track. The Scotsman itself, 5:30 remaining of quali. This will be his outlap. He will be going now for his fast lap right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what time he can put on the board here tonight as well. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Busson now dropped down into 5th. Luke Maxwell's took pole. Graham Brown 2nd. Dan Webster 3rd. Paul Clark has got himself in 4th. Don't forget Paul Clark, the sponsors for tonight's series, guys. iLoungeRacing.co.uk. Go and check them out for all your sim racing needs. Taking the ease out of buying simulators. They provide so much service for you guys. Aftercare, building it for you, run you through it, make sure you all know what's going to happen and how it's going to work. Definitely worth going to check them out there as well for the guys at iLoungeRacing.co.uk. That would be absolutely amazing. Sponsors by there for this evening. Graham Brown is going to be coming across the line there as well, currently on a 1:14.050. Goes into 3rd, breaks the 1:13 barrier. Flying. And so is Mr. McCutcheon. I see again there, Biggles.
Yeah, the 1:13's the targets for sure. 1:13.7 is the benchmark at the moment, 4 minutes to go. That's going to be a hard time to beat, but is possible with a select handful of those drivers that could do it. There's Simon Edwards now, P7 now. And John goes up at a P4. He joins just on the 14 club, not quite the 13 club yet for you there, John. But Simon, wow, that's just there's going to be putting a lot of banker in very soon. LeMay in the P4 now for the Two Brothers Racing team. He's just on the bubble of the 13 club. That's the one. That's the target you want to be on the front row at least.
Yeah, he's got to try and get there or thereabouts. Phil Glover has done his qualifying laps. Let's bring in Phil for a chat while the others are finishing it off here. Good evening, Mr. Glover. How are you? Phil?
He's in pit road, so he's not on track.
No, I think
he is muted at the moment, but
yeah, he is muted. So we'll drop him back in there and wait for Phil to get back. Phil is our resident conversationalist as he talks to us. Webster's on pole on a 1:13.7. Simon Edwards cruising.
I think I realised why he can't. The same thing happened to me before when I was automatically muted. Anyway, he's that's probably muted. Why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are muted by default, I think, if you do join that. Anyway.
There we go.
Quite hard of a track at the time.
Yeah.
2 cars now.
the thing is, they do their 3 laps, and then they currently have to sit and wait. I'm gonna try and get these.
We could just pop.
sorted out.
We could just pop down to him quickly. Well, we got time. There's Paul and John, P4, P5, that are out on track, as well as Mr. Robert Woodward. And that's about it. It's up to Paul whether or not Paul and John could do something about getting themselves in that 13 club and maybe on the front row. I don't think so at the times that they're doing, but
No,
you can see no purples. Maybe Robert will improve just a little bit.
I don't think John's going to be able to do it. He has got his last. This is his last lap, but I think he's probably going to give up as well. His three yellows in, so he's not going to be improving. Robert Woodward there as well. 146 currently on the board, ready to go. 4 cars in the barrier. Is that what you're saying, CJ? Where are we saying that? Right, turn 5? Do you think turn 5? Is that what you reckon, Biggles?
I think that's what he was referring to, the 4 car in the barrier. Earlier, that was Mike, but we kind of missed that one. Mike's currently P7, and they'll be stuck on that one at the moment, Boosin.
Robert Woodward still cruising round in his nice pink racing pointless. I like that. Nice pun on words there for Robert Woodward. So let's see how we get on with 56 seconds remaining. Most of the cars are in their pits. They have done their laps, and we've only got a couple still just cruising around.
Sunday drive, mate, on a Thursday.
Mate, I would as well. I would just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the Pink Panther. That's going to be calling that your name there from now on. That we're looking at, Mr. John. You are the Pink Panther. Whether he likes it or not, I've already nicknamed your car. We got the Panther car. We have the Unicorn car that I was mentioning before. I'm going to have all these nicknames for all these liveries by the end of this race, mate. Races, plural.
Yeah. Going to be interesting to see what you can come up with, young
The
sir.
yellow mellow machine. Here we go, right now, John. For the team red line.
There we go. It is the end of the session, and the grid is up here this evening, ready to go. And let's bring you that grid. It's going to be Dan Webster from HPE Automotive in pole position, Graham Brown in second, Luke Maxwell in third, Paul LeMay in fourth, and then we got John McHutchinson in fifth, Paul Clark in sixth, Mike Bousson seventh, Martina Ward eighth, Simon Edwards ninth, David Rolliston 10th, James Child in 11th, Graham Brown in 12th place. And then beyond that, we've got Colin Wynn in 13th, Seth Brown 14th, Robert Woodward 15th, Damien G in 16th, Andrew Derrick 17th, Jorge Gonzaga in 18th, Phil Glover 19th, Darrell Taylor 20th, and then we've got David Beasley 21, Phil Jocelyn 22, and Jamie Bird at the bottom there in 23rd place. 23 cars on Jack. Carlos Acosta, wood time for some road racing. Route time. Oh, okay, got you. All right, wood time.
It's been a bit of a while, obviously. You said they had an endurance race last week. But most of the leagues, of course, are on their little bit of a Chrissy break here on the holiday break. It's good to see that we've got some radical racing back again here. Mm-hmm. It's for Series 22 to 23.
Yeah, 22-23 series. They are Season 1 of 22-23.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I was going to say, they're not 23 seasons. That's got me on. I was like, wow, you guys have been around a while.
No, it's the 22-23 Season 1 started back in December. Shush. They know what they did. All right, it's fine.
All right.
Right, so I've got this. It's fine. Don't you worry about it. Right, here we go, guys. Ready to go. 3, 4, 5. And we are green here at Road Atlanta, and it's Dan Webster. He is taking the whole shot currently at the moment. Graham Brown has moved a big crash to the back. crash at the back
Massive.
already. James Charles is involved in that one as well. Andrew Derrick, Jorge Gonzaga is kicking off, and it's Graham Brown in second, chasing down Dan Webster in third. John McCutcheon is down in fourth place. Paul LeMay, Mike Buson is behind that. Simon Edwards up into seventh. I would say everybody's got away cleanly, Biggles, but we've just seen the green flag at the back of the grid there, and people did not make it through. We will have a look back at that. We'll let these cars get round the first lap or so.
Massive pile-up, of course. That has to be on a straighter wave. Maybe they'll be overtaking opportunity just in the back row there. But what a great launch there from Dan. He kicked that thing into overdrive with some booster, got a fantastic launch, and just looked at his mirrors at all that action that occurred behind him, and here's action occurring right now for about P10.
Yeah, that's Martina Ward there as well, absolutely flying along. Lost 2 places at the beginning, is now trying to get them back. It's side by side. Currently at the moment is Martina Ward. David Rolleston is on track there ahead of her, and it's Seth Brown behind her. Seth in the bright green, well, melon machine really, you could call it, with the green and red there, Biggles. I beat you.
Yes.
Beat you.
Yep, you got me on that one. The Pink Panther behind, and that's the deep purple machine. They're beautiful. These are absolutely fantastic liveries, but let's not focus on the liveries and focus. Well, we can focus on the liveries and the racing.
Colin Wynn is going to emerge from behind that tree. They're chasing
Kermit
down
the Frog
Seth
car. It could be.
Yeah.
Kermit
Frog. Dan Webster's absolutely flying. Luke Maxwell's tucked up right behind Graham Brown at the moment. Graham doing an excellent job as normal as well. Flying along nicely there is Graham. There's Jamie Bird, unfortunately, has been involved in another thing at the back of the grid. But we'll have a look back at that start, and we'll see if we can pick up on where it all went wrong at the beginning. We'll just let Luke Maxwell play this out from behind Graham Brown, because I think there's going to be an opportunity down into 10A here, Biggles, where he's going to be making that move. Graham Brown's got to, what's he going to do? He's going to try defensive this early on? You know, we're lap 2 of 11. He's got to try and prevent him for as long as possible. Maxwell's gone round. Mike Buson joined him. Then there's going to be a backup at the back there with Paul LeMay and Paul Clark, David Rolleston. Oh, poor old Luke
Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Overspeed's caught him off guard, snapped the brake a little bit, and that's what sent him spinning around, unfortunately. So, yeah, good. Obviously good for the driver not to collect the other driver. But there's a replay, of course, at the start here. So expect some carnage around here.
Yeah, I'm expecting it down here with Andrew Derrick. Yeah, Derrick doesn't go anywhere. There's another. Whoa, there it is.
Yeah.
That's Jamie Bird.
It's 2 cars.
Yeah, James
They got
Child.
bogged down.
I think that's James Child, who doesn't go anywhere.
Child.
Yeah, because I think he gets tagged by Colin Wynn. If you watch the moving Matter's car behind him, the white one, Seth Brown gets a flyer, because then it all just kicks off. Damien G goes round as well. Oh,
forgot the clutch, and that just caused a little bit of it's just it was interesting. It was only a little tap. You could see he's tried to correct it straight, but the rear's just tagged out a little bit, and unfortunately it's just sliced the car that's on the side trying to get past. Everybody else is innocent. Innocent victims at that point, and that's just the way. Yeah.
The problem is as well, they tied together, don't they? They did that iRacing joint together like super glue all of a sudden, and then that was it. It was all done and dusted, wasn't it? There was not a lot they could do about that.
No, that's motor racing but for you, isn't it? It's the right place at the right time and the wrong place at the wrong time. That's how it all works out.
Unfortunately, that did put them down at the order there as well. And Luke Maxwell obviously had his spin early on. Jamie Bird did as well. Andrew Derrick's been off track as well at some point. So I'm not overly worried about them ones, and I'm sure these guys will battle back. But it's Mike Buson with Simon Edwards right behind him at the moment there with Paul LeMay, Paul Clark, David Rolleston and Luke Maxwell trying to recover after his spin. However, he's got the flying Martina Ward currently at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see what Martina can do. Doesn't look like we've got her partner this week, David Ward, who was here. Joined in last week as well and absolutely smashed it. But Martina here doing a stellar job as the laps drop off. 4 of 11 to go, Biggles. So they're going to get more excited.
Yeah, Dan Webster still dominating at the front there after that very, very good start. Still keeping Mr. Brown, Graham Brown, at bay. They're starting to creep into that 1 second. It looks like Edwards just had an overtake right there, I believe.
Yeah, over
on Buson. Mike. Yeah. As you saw. So Simon back up to Simon's usual tricks. That is making places. He's got a few more to make up. I don't think he must have been disappointed with his qualifying performance because we know that he was on top of the timesheets when it comes to those practice sessions and must have made a couple of little mistakes. That's all it takes. And now he's going to have to really make his way back up and to hunt a podium down here. But has he given enough time? Maybe 5 of 11.
Yeah, 6 laps to go. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Graham Brown has got the ever-looming Scotsman of John McCutcheon. Then they've got a 3-second gap to Edwards at the moment. Andrew Derrick is, well, literally nose to tail with Darrell Taylor. Darrell himself has been off track and has made a mistake as well. Is Andrew Derrick going to dive up the inside of one? He is currently. Is he going to send it through? Can he stop it? Oh!
Yeah, had a little bit of a lift off there to make sure you didn't go sideways into that car, which is another thing of clever racing, because even though they might be hunting themselves at the back, it's still points that are crucial. And of course, as you mentioned about the reverse grid can really come into play into race 2. Mike at the moment, now John McCutcheon has really put a bit of pressure on for P2 as well there, James. As a few other little battles you can see that are brewing all over the place. There's the Kermit the Frog car just in the background there as well too, the green machine.
Yeah, Martina Ward's just gone past Luke Maxwell. Yeah. Stellar job here this week from Martina. Yeah. Graham Brown, however, it's not going to be here, is it? Anybody that knows this circuit, right? And when you're driving through them S's, you're going to go left over 5. You're going to sit and hold, right? I would not make my move at all. And I believe anybody who's smart, who's driven Road Atlanta, will also know. Oh! No, Graham Brown!
Oh, no. Graham, at that point, that just looks like he completely lost the rear end on that and the speed going into that corner. And because of the pressure on behind, you'd have to say that was applied by John. Unfortunately, Graham is stuck at the moment, too, trying to get up the hill.
His front left's not moving.
So low. It's going to wait for the traffic as well, too. It's going to drop him all the way back down to P15, maybe probably P16 or so soon. Going to get the temperature back into those tyres. It's so unfortunate, isn't it? Like, do you think that was mirror racing? I don't know. I don't want to be too cruel to the drivers sometimes, but racing lines. Somebody else is off. I was wondering why they're taking a different racing line through there. That's because David's had an off-track adventure.
Yeah, Martina Ward is under pressure now from Luke Maxwell. Simon Edwards and Mike Bousson are battling it out as well, not too far away from each other. Them guys they're dropping off down through 3 and off down through the S's they go. Luke Maxwell is going to be up at the back of Martina Ward here, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do here as well. He's got to try and recover as Luke. He's added spin. He's got to get on with it now because he's got Seth Brown looming behind him. So it's going to be interesting, and I think the development of how that one materializes more and more throughout the race, as they've only got 4 laps to go. There's literally barely 5 minutes of racing here as they're doing 1:13s. He hasn't got long, Maxwell, has he, Biggles? He's got to get on with it.
No, he's got to definitely get on with it. I'm sure he's well aware of it. He's going to get the slipstream, a little bit of slipstream tow as we are riding on board. And once again, Simon's back up at a P2, but into that 6 positions gained in P3. I told you he was probably looking for a podium. I don't think he expected it as easy there because of the fact that we had the driver of Graham, was it Mr. Brown, go around. And even rhymes. A poet, I didn't even know it, but yeah, look at this. Sensation of speed, of course. You got a little bit of the sun gleaming into your eyes. Now you got a car behind you and a car ahead, but you've got to be focusing more what's up the road there, Luke, and that's the purple machine.
He's struggling in that car. He had to drop that down in turn 1 to get that to turn. And I'm wondering if overall, if we have a look back of the roll bar of Seth Brown, the speed differences here as well. I don't know if Maxwell's got full speed. Going down, that's a big dose of curb. Because it
could be a bit of damage, right? You think a tiny bit of undercar damage, something, it's only a little bit at this speed.
He can't turn it properly. He's really struggling to get into grips with it. He's either that or he's just pushing like an absolute banshee. But I don't know if he's got full speed in that car currently at the moment. It really seems to be going down.
150, 62.
Yeah, look at Martina Ward. Yeah. She's up 170.
Yeah, she's 170.
Maxwell's nowhere near that. I wonder if Maxwell is losing speed a little bit here tonight, because it does look like he may have damaged his car. Phil Glover is down the long back straight at the moment. That is the other Graham Brown. He's just gone past. We'll try and have a chat with Phil. Oh! Overcooks it into 10A, and away it goes. It's Phil jostling now with Graham Brown. There goes, are going to be side by side here as well as they're running down this battle for 13th place.
That's the Lamb GP car behind there. You can see with the British livery on the back. Lamb, I can't see what this is. Something Lamb. Making me hungry for a lamb right now, but it's not the Mutton GP. That's it used to be the Silverstone GP, the Mutton Grand Prix. You're here in Road Atlanta.
And we start getting it back into food again, because you know what's going to be
Sunday lamb roast, mate. That's what you need to have anyway. Yeah, you could organise that.
You could do that right about now. You know what I mean? Well, just to have a quick chat with Phil Glover in a very short while when he drops off through that difficult turn 5. I don't want to talk to him before that. We can pull him in about now.
Yeah. He had a little spinneroo before, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he still can hear me. Yeah, it's still looking like he's muted there as well. So unfortunately, we will not be able to do it.
We'll try to get that sorted out for the next. Oh, let's see the pink machine behind it power slide out of the corner. That's the car that was behind Mr. Phil. That was a Robert, I think, for the Racing Pointless.
Yeah, team.
I might call it the Racing Princess or something like that with the pink. But anyway. Good racing here from Phil, getting a job done on... No, sorry, who was that on Phil? That was Damien.
Yeah, Damien.
Yeah. Oh, but Damien's going to keep it on the track! And there it is! It's a massive accident there, and that's unfortunately taking Phil out as well.
That's a bit jostling in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, Damien G.
Well, we're on a good casting cursing schedule at the moment, aren't we, mate? We're about 3 from 3 already. Every camera we seem to go on, we're not missing those accidents here this evening, that's for sure. See what happens when you get me in the booth, mate? All the carnage occurs.
I think that's most of the time we're causing it there as well. So yeah,
that was just motor racing as well too. That was nothing that the other driver could do. He just lost the rear end, and of course you go straight into these cars. They're kind of like not like touring cars, are they? You push these cars around, they go around. Touring cars, of course, are a bit more bullying.
No, then we are on the final lap of the race there. Dan Webster did take the white flag with John McCutcheon in second, Simon Edwards third. Buson up into fourth, still closing down on Webster. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one, not Webster, Buson closing down on Edwards. I want to see if Mike can get him at the end. I think from Buson's point of view, he needs this for a confidence booster. Not had a greatest start to the season. He's been consistent, he's got points, don't get me wrong, but he's not had the start he had last season. And he was so unlucky last season, and at the moment he's looking like he's even unluckier currently at the moment. So that's Mike Buson chasing down Edwards. He needs to carry speed through 6 and 7 to get the run down in through 8, 9 and down. Oh! That's
somebody off track.
McCutcheon's round. That's Buson on a podium. Is he going to get second place here tonight?
I think he's going to have the...
Oh, look at that.
Mike just needs to hold on.
Derek there as well. I want to see how this... Oh, he's not going to get him. I don't think he's going to get him. I'm very cautious that he's not going to get him. Pick up Dan Webster, and he comes out from behind the trees. Dan Webster takes your victory in the sprint race here tonight. Simon Edwards just manages to hold on from Buson. LeMays crosses the line in fourth. Paul Clark comes across the line in fifth place there. Martina Ward behind him. Luke Maxwell, Seth Brown, Colin Wynn, John McCutcheon down in 10th. And then we've got the second. There's the first Graham Brown. There's the second Graham Brown there as well.
He didn't have a good race, of course, unfortunately for Graham, losing 11 places. Graham Brown, you mentioned.
Yeah, I think the problem was as well, though, because there's a lot of times the guys at the back here, Gonzaga, Woodward, G, obviously we know what happened with him. Darrell Taylor, Andrew Derrick, Phil Jocelyn, Jamie, they all got caught up. You know, Phil Glover's just gone round again there at the back. They all got caught up in that incident, didn't they? And that was the thing that really kind of threw them off, was that incident at the beginning. And it starts here. If we jump on the roll bar of Colin Wynn, here's this beginning. So look, he got an absolute flyer. He didn't. There we go. There it is. That's the contact. That one little piece of contact, and it just set everybody off. And that was it. They were going round there as well. But here are the results from the sprint race here tonight. Dan Webster is your bitter. Simon Edwards in second. Buson in third. Paul LeMay in fourth. Paul Clark fifth. Martina Ward sixth. Luke Maxwell seventh. Seth Brown eighth. Colin Wynn ninth. John McCutcheon, last lap spin coming out of turn 7, sent him all the way down into 10th place. David Rolliston in 11th. Then we got the 2 Graham Browns in 12th and 13th, respectively. James Child 14th. Jorge Gonzaga 15th. Robert Woodward 16th. Phil Glover 17th. Darrell Taylor down in 18th place. David Beasley 19th. Damien G 20th. Andrew Derrick. Phil Jocelyn. Jamie Bird 1 lap down and 7 laps down, respectively, down in 23rd place. Webster won the heat. Yeah, it's a sprint race. Sprint. Sprint. So there's a sprint now, and then we go to a reverse top 10. Reverse top 10 for the beach. I couldn't get my teeth out. But you know what?
You start timid Christmas puddings from you, my friend. I don't know, the Christmas break. Here we go. You get warmed up, of course, as we're going to have a little bit of a warm up. It was absolutely fat. You have to say Webster won that, I'd have to say, at the very start with that great launch. He got away there and he got that gap, and all he had to do was maintain that 1 second or so gap, even from the flying cars behind him. Held him off well, and that well-deserved victory. You got a feel for John, wouldn't you? Right towards the end there in the last couple of corners, you're going around there and just dropping like a stone, as you like to mention there for the Scotsman. But everybody else, keeping it clean or not. Let's see if we can actually have a chat to Phil.
No,
I don't think we can yet still, unfortunately.
No,
Phil's been eager to have a chat to us all racing along there for the...
Yeah, he normally comes in and tells me how he's getting on. At least
the banana
once.
machine?
Once or twice. Is in the bright orange, is Phil Glover.
Oh, the orange, that's right. Yeah, there you go. I knew it was one of those colours.
Where is Mr. Glover? As he says, looks anxiously. He's not in the session as of yet, but we are there. So hopefully we will be able to get these issues sorted out, guys, as well. We'll bring you up the grid for race 2. John McCutcheon on pole after his spin, put him down into 10th place, takes pole position. Colin Wynn in 2nd, Seth Brown 3rd, Luke Maxwell 4th, Martina Ward 5th, Paul Clark 6th, Paul LeMay 7th, Mike Buson 8th, Simon Edwards in 9th, Dan Webster 10th, David Rolliston 11th, Graham Brown will be down in 12th place. The other Graham Brown down in 13th, James Child 14th, Jorge Gonzaga 15th, Robert Woodward 16th, Phil Glover 17th, Darrell Taylor 18th, David Beasley 19th, Damien G in 20th, Andrew Derrick 21st, Phil Jocelyn 22, and Jamie Bird down in 23rd place. Well,
the reverse grid will now help John. So if
did.
you've got a worse place to have a spin, at least you get pole.
Yeah, I really don't believe that would have been John McCutcheon's conspiracy theory as we start it off here as well. The lights are out. 4 lights, 5 lights. Oh, there's movement at the back as well from the Racing Pointless. Robert Woodward, he's going to have a jump start. But John McCutcheon got quite a boggy start down, and it's Seth Brown running him down into turn 1 at the moment. And then behind that, we've got Luke Maxwell, who has overtaken Colin Wynn already. But the flying Scotsman of John McCutcheon is out in front and taking it down through the order there in the lead. He got away better this time, Biggles, and is reaping the rewards currently at the moment.
Yeah, Colin unfortunately dropped a couple of places there, so got bogged down a little bit at the start. Not as bad bogged down as we saw a little bit earlier from the other cars, but this time around we don't have a multi-car crash occurring, thankfully, so everybody got through those corners okay. Just a couple, once again, just a little bit of a speed difference you see, isn't it, between your launches. It's crucial, isn't it, to get your launches perfect on that one, just like we saw in the last race.
Yeah, this car is difficult to get a decent launch out of it. You've got to practice as well. I know some of these guys have got double clutches, so they've got all the technology. Unlike me, I'm on a pedal clutch that you can't ever get right, regardless if you want to or not. This is Buson trying to push down here into turn 10. This is going to be an interesting battle down where... whoa, that's LeMay. Martina Ward, she's not going to come back on track. She's not going to stop. Yeah. Big one in the back, Rolliston.
Oh, no. It's pushed everybody around, hasn't it? It's pushed down Webster around. There's a lot of people coming back. And it's interesting to say that's coming back onto the end of the track as well.
She's on the left-hand side again on the grass. Is Martina Ward.
Yeah.
Not a good...
Oh, she's got over the bump as well. It's going to say it's a little bit unsafe, really, but it's easier said than done because, you're also carrying speed into a corner and you've got to try to get it. It's very difficult, but definitely has spoiled a couple of these drivers' party so far. But again, they still have time on their side and anything can happen. It does happen.
Yeah, Robert Woodward back in the pits with David Rolliston as well. Rollo was involved in that incident with Martina Ward, and there is just no stopping that car when you go over the grass. It is a one-way ticket to Torpedo Land, and it is literally like Bambi on ice in these cars. You may as well put hooves on the bottom and take the wheels off and hope that they're going to stop, because it does not happen here in iRacing on that grass here as well. James Child is under attack from Graham Brown. Is Graham going to be making that move down into 10A and 10B? He is taking the inside line there, and that's going to be Brown up through. A job done on him. Is David Beasley going to clear Phil Jocelyn? Not this time around. But we can have a look back at the Martina Ward one, and I think from her point of view, once she goes off, it's just a one-way ticket. There's nothing there, is there? You know, I
think you're right, that one, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to come round. This is on the grass. This one before. We want to go back a little bit further.
Yeah, that was the second one. She got off. And she stayed on the grass pointing in the right direction here, which is clever, because she knows you can't get back onto the racing line. The rear end is going to slip you at that point, and you would have destroyed it. But this is the one where there is contact, right? So it's not necessarily her fault, but no stopping here, and then she gets hit. Also forces, I believe, Damien out to the. So if you look at, there's a white car, there's Damien, and it also forces him go out wide. So there's a little bit of carnage that occurs there.
Yeah, I don't think it was a great job there, as well as the cameras decided to do something completely different to what I wanted them to do. So that was interesting. John McGutchison, Luke Maxwell there. Martina Ward is still chasing down Graham Brown with Phil Glover right behind him currently as well. David Beasley. Cars are a little bit more spread out. We've got a couple of pockets of battles going on. As you see on the track map, we've got first and second, then we've got third, fourth and fifth here with Colin Wynn, Paul Clark and Paul LeMay with Simon Edwards. Graham Brown behind that, James Child. Then we've got the other Graham Brown with Martina Ward, Phil Glover and Darrell Taylor going on as well. So we just see Maxwell set the fastest lap of the race on 1:13.654. It is really difficult in these cars. And I know, obviously, from Martina Ward's point of view, she's going to come back and say, you know, I'm apologetic there and I'm sorry and stuff like that. It's just one of them things. Buson has taken an excursion here, Biggles. I wondered why he was down that far. And this is why for Mike Buson, entrance into one, up the hill, not stopping that.
No, so there's the Harleys going past at the background. Yeah, that one, I think he might have got caught off with the off-speed difference between the car and the road there, and then unfortunately he's just decided to go off the racing line a little bit at that speed, and you go off the track, but keeps us out of the fence. But Maxwell's putting pressure right now, John. This is for the lead of the race. I see him starting to catch you. Saw him put the fastest lap in, and he wants to get past the Scotsman. And will John allow him through? That'll be the question. Plenty of time. 4 of 18, but you don't mess with the Scots, mate. You've seen Braveheart.
Oh, yeah, mate. John McGutch at full William Wallace. I'll tell you that much. You may take his life, but you're never going to take his first place. You know what I mean? And you're going to, that's how it's only going to happen.
We've said this before, I think. John knows about that one. Yeah. We're giving him a bit of casting boost right now. You can see how much he's just picked it up a little bit there. He's gained, he's taken that 2/10 off Luke now.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing
back.
is how he's going to hold him on that straight. Maxwell knows where he's got to be roughly going into 7 to get the exit out of 7 for that run down 8 and 9. He knows where he's roughly got to be. And if he isn't close enough, he's not going to pick up much of that toe. And McCutcherson's going to know that. And he knows that if he can get through this section here cleanly, then Maxwell's got a job to try and do something. You need to be out about 3 tenths to kind of really effectively make the move without doing some crazy dive down into that 10A and 10B. You see he's going to be about maybe 3 tenths back at the moment, which is where we're roughly expecting him to be at the end of the day.
Check out LeMay and Clark there. Sorry to cut you off on that one. Now it looks like an overtake there. Or was. So LeMay, maybe. This is a 3-way battle, bro. Of course, you have that championship leader. Edwards just lurking in the background there in the unicorn car. Sorry if it's not a unicorn car, but it is now.
Graham Brown. Graham Brown has gone round again.
Ooh.
In 10A. He's now round 2 races, unfortunately.
He's got to wait.
He's got to
wait.
wait.
Of traffic too.
He had to do this last time, didn't he? Just sit there. Simon Edwards trying to go up the inside of LeMay into turn 1. Not currently happening at the moment. They can't take it too wide into 3. Edwards knows that. He's a wily old fox. He's not going to...
Oh, but you can't make mistakes like that when you have Edwards on your tailpipe.
He's not going to... Oh, LeMay backed out. LeMay backed out of that one, Biggles. There was no way he was going to be going to try and run him too wide down through the S's. It would just want to be crazy from LeMay's point of view as we jump on the roll bar. James Child chasing down Paul LeMay and Simon Edwards.
Yeah, sometimes it might have been clever just throw a little bit of lift there too, otherwise you'd be off. But look at the battle for the front again, my friend. That's brewing up. Maxwell actually putting pressure right now. Is he ahead there of John? This is for the lead.
Yep.
He got it done. So we can actually go back and have a look at that, obviously, in a little bit when there's a break, because LeMay's now putting pressure back on. But look at this, 2 for now between these two. So obviously Luke had found a mistake that the John made.
Leave it out, or he's caught him in the draft and just run him down into the chicane. We can have a look back at that one very shortly. Let this one just play out down through the S's here as well. LeMay is trying to come back on Simon Edwards. Not going to make it this time into turn one as these guys run up the hill here as well. Buson's trying to make his way back through with Phil Jocelyn. That's Buson down in 12th place currently at the moment. So it's roles reversed here for Maxwell and McCutchinson as they're going off round 6 and 7 on that straight. I think it's going to be, oh, no.
Oh, yeah, he's got to wait. You can rack it up. Clever. Phil. And on the racing line. And yeah. Oh, don't get stuck, but right there. You can get this because of the how low these cars are out of the ground. You can get stuck. Oh, he's just frustrated because so much traffic coming around. Yeah. Now he can get back going.
I can tell you what happened here. He went up in 3 and went over the curb. And that spun that car round there. So that's Mike Buson past here as well. Martina Ward looking up the inside of 6 on Andrew Derrick. She does make it through this time around. But here is that Maxwell and McCutchinson battle with 10 laps remaining.
Yeah, just to let me know which camera operator is going to report. It's one of them before I'm writing the number down of that camera operator. We're going to talk to him a little bit later about that. Yeah. Send him to detention or a timeout. You're a teacher. Make sure they don't make those mistakes again. Ooh, let's see whether or not Mr. Portugal can try to find a way around Mr. David Beasley up the road in this George Gonzaga.
Jorge Gonzaga there. That is Dan Webster trying to come through.
He got forced off earlier, remember, to avoid that accident up the road and dropped him back because he was performing quite well again. He was in the midfield, climbing in, and that cost him a lot of time. Unless he had another moment off track to be back this far.
Yeah, he's a lap down as well.
Yeah. I think he must have had another mistake because I don't think he lost too much time from that unless he had damage, but he's trying to make his way back up there. Woodward, of course, is out. Yeah,
Webster. Yeah, that's turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's another one he had.
He's gone back.
Oh, he's gone back to pit.
So I'm wondering what happened.
He might have got damage from before, but too. I think he might have hit the wall earlier to avoid that accident. Yeah, that was brewing up with Martina when Martina had an off-track moment, and I saw just in the background him going off and could have been hit the wall there quite hard. Anyway, that's unfortunate, but at least he got one of the victories up his sleeve today. As what Robert Woodward out there said, just unfortunately today is definitely not his week. Bad place and a jump start to add injury to insult too, and who's retired, as you can see. Well, you can't see his name on there, but Robert has retired, unfortunately. Yep, it's one of those weeks, Robert. You get them, scrub that off your calendar, and it'll say, all right, yep. And now you bounce back stronger for the next one. Everybody has to have one of those bad week races, don't they?
Yeah, been there, mate. Been there a few times.
Almost everybody. You have one, okay? That's what I always say. One's not bad.
Well, these guys might have one. I kind of might have a little bit more, on a week-by-week basis. But this is Jorge Gonzaga chasing down David Beasley. As these guys are coming through 6 and 7 as Jamie Bird is round.
Yeah. And now that'll throw you off, remember, of course, when you're making your way through your racing line flat out. Redlining it, and then all of a sudden there's a car that's around there, but thankfully Jamie was off the racing line enough. But will it help this overspeed difference here between Jorge?
Yeah, it does. Gets past David Beasley. Job done. Paul Clark under attack from Simon Edwards. As Phil says across the pond, that's me every week. See, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm going to leave.
That's why I stick to the booth and not racing, so we didn't be able to finish it across. Actually, I did finish the race across the line quite well, just last place.
Well,
that's okay for me.
Look, at least you finished, right? That's it at the end of the day. At least you finished. But it just, I get one a day, I think. If I drive on a daily basis, don't get me wrong, I don't. Because I don't have that amount of time.
But when do you have time?
Mate, I don't. As we see Damien G trying to go up the inside. There's 6 here of, it's Graham Brown in front, Damien G behind him from Radsport Sim Racing with Mike Bousson from Team Radline. Closing him down here. He's going to be looking at making his move down into 10A and 10B. It's all about Bousson. There is G on the left. He's got to slot back in again. Oh, we're going in. No, we're not. We're
going into the gearbox. Yeah.
Excuse me. Mike Bousson does go up the inside of Damien G at this time around. And next on his list is great. Yeah, literally. Simon Edwards, Paul Clark battling it out for 4th place. Colin Wynn is doing a stellar job in 3rd, I'd like to point out as well. I haven't touched really much on Colin. Down 1 on his grid start, but he's only down 1 and is currently sitting in 3rd place here from the Moving Matters team. He's doing an absolute stellar job keeping his car on track. JB Bird is also now attacking David Beasley. There's also a battle in the middle, battle further back than that as well. Martina Ward's got the other Graham Brown for company. And then the other Graham Brown, he's got Mike Bousson for company. Where do we go, Biggles?
Graham Brown's. Yeah. I don't know, pick a Brown. Both of them at the moment are in the action hotspot zone of our race, 11 of 18, so we've still got a little bit to go. I'm just wondering, as you mentioned there before about Colin Wynn, the Moving Matters. He's got an I rating of basically just under 2K, whereas you got Simon, of course, the championship leader, on a 7K, and but he's got a 2.5 second gap, so just maintain that, my friend, and you're going to be happy to finish yourself on a podium ahead of the Drivers' Champion. But this battle brewing between the Browns, one of them, Graham, this one. They're both Grahams.
Well, we've got 3 Browns here tonight. 2 Graham Browns, 1 Seth Brown. So, to make it even more complicated for us as well, we've got 3 Browns joining the affray tonight. But it's all about Mike Bousson and the first Graham Brown, who's slowly getting to grips with Darrell Taylor. If Taylor's not careful, he's going to be dragged into this 4-way battle that's brewing right about now. And it looks like Taylor is a little bit slower, 1:15.23. He was a tenth slower than Brown. But Brown is going to be making use of this at the moment, and so is Bousson. Back up front, John McHutchison, 2 tenths back, taking the battle again over Luke Maxwell down into turn 6 and 7. And this is the pass here.
Switcheroo occurring between the leaders again. And that's it. Yeah, you can see completely at the moment that looks like Luke just really lifted off and said, all right, as long as I expect to see more of that in the closing stages of the race. As long as they stick together, which they have been, always within about half a second consistently, is all it needs. But you got to do it on the 18th lap, more importantly than the other ones.
I think that's the thing. Them guys are going to be waiting for that. Bousson is looking to go through on Brown now. Makes the move. Next on his list is Darrell Taylor. Mike Bousson recovering back through, absolutely flying. Damien G's just gone past Graham Brown, coming over the turning of 11 before running down into 12 now. This is Damien G, Graham Brown, Bousson, Darrell Taylor. The guys up front are 3 tenths back currently at the moment. We are keeping an eye on them. But it is Darrell Taylor. I don't think it's a matter of if Bousson's going to get past. I think it's a matter of when. And that's no disrespect to Darrell Taylor. I just know how fast Bousson has been and can be and is really, Biggles. I think that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a little bit scared too about Colin Wynn because Simon Edwards has now got the 2.5 second gap down and drilled that tooth and nail. So I think at some point he's going to have a hard time trying to hold him off. I was hoping that it would be a little bit later, but time's unfortunately not on his side. There's these other battles you can see brewing here at the moment for P9, as Taylor's going to have to do the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
A gurgle of cars behind. And this is, if you're going to commit to the racing line right now, you have to do it. But make sure you get the good exit, otherwise you're under pressure for the car behind you, which is Glee.
Yeah, Damien G.
Sorry, not Glee. Yeah, G. There's no L in G.
No,
Gee whiz, I'm messing that one up there, Damien. Sorry.
So, Dan Webster has finally caught up to Seth Brown. This is the battle for position down in 19th place. 18th place there as well is Brown. 19th is Webster, and Webster wants it back, and he wants that position there. So let's see how this one pans out. McCutcheon and Maxwell are at it once again. What is Maxwell going to do? He's looking at pulling out on the right-hand side. Is that going to be Maxwell through down into 10A and 10B?
Should get it here.
He's
Just the last late
yeah.
breakers, but yeah. Because I know that you think John's not going to tell anything too bold and brave just yet.
Oh, Edwards has got wind.
Yeah, he's going to have a win now. Wynn's going to have to just lift off here at the moment and just allow him through. Well, it is the championship leader. It's unfortunate. Wynn's going to just hold up the other guys down the road now, I'd have to say. I think Colin's happy that he's dropped a couple of places, but he's happy that he's in amongst, remember, these guys with super high I ratings, and once again, they're higher up in the championship as well than him.
Yeah.
He's got to be happy with that. Hold up Paul, both the Pauls charging on his gearbox soon for a couple laps, and he'll be okay. Take a P4.
Yeah, I think he could have. The problem is Colin Wynn knows his abilities, right? And me and Colin have spoken before. We've had conversations loads of times, numerous amounts of times, and he knows where his abilities are at, and he knows what he can and cannot do, right? He knows he can't compete with the top guys. That's Martina Ward off again on the right-hand side. Poor old Martina Ward. Could be a Martina Ward highlight reel, unfortunately, tonight. But
Martina, I have to get you to mow the lawns in my backyard at the moment. Unfortunately.
Saving the job for the groundsman.
Easier said than done, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Wouldn't be in the tar.
Look, we're just mere mortals, right? This is why we sit in the booth. Yeah. We admit this every single week, Biggles. You know, I can go out in the SR10. Am I good in it? Well, I can keep it on track. Am I as fast as these guys? Hell no. And I'm not fast as Paul LeMay and Paul Clark. Clark's gone defensive on the inside, but I think LeMay's going to have enough, is he? Clark's gone too deep. He's gone...
just keep it sticking inside the track there. We're going to fire that cameraman too. He's on report. I think that's camera operator 32.
No.
Oh, yes.
Look, Clark's, look at that.
Oh, netcode.
Oh,
that's not the time you want netcode as well too, going around a corner at full speed, unless it was just me.
No, I definitely don't want that either. Because, can you imagine? We all been there where you follow a driver and all of a sudden they disappear. It's like, where are you going to come back? And it looks like James Child may have just overtaken. He has. He's just cleared Paul LeMay. Next on his list is Paul Clark here as well. Jorge Gonzaga still battling it away with Jamie Bird. Jamie Bird with JPB on the front there. I'm not sure if that's reference to us as a broadcast company, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
You got some fans. Yeah. Exactly. Keep it, Colin. Colin's still got a 1.8 second gas. Colin Wynn, you can see he's got a 1.9 second gap there to Paul Clark. So he's looking good to keep that P4 position gain at the moment. LeMay, as you can see, is battling up very tooth and nail. We know that Maxwell, Luke, and John McHutchison are going to go for it tooth and nail very soon. So it's probably the battle we should be watching pretty much right on cue. You got it there on the pitches.
Yeah, I think this is going to come down to the last lap. I am a little bit interested to see where Phil Glover and how he's going to be involved with this. I'm really hoping from his point of view, don't get out the way. Oh, he's put him up. Maxwell's off. Oh, he's hit the cap. Phil Glover there.
He's done the right thing to allow everybody through. It's just, it's what time you get allow them through.
What's going to be better? Phil's stuck between a rock and a hard place there, right? He tried to get the car out of the way, and then at the same time, he was trying to keep it on track.
Oh, power slide too in the background there from John. You see that? Cost him a bit of time, which is not right now. You want to be losing that time.
No.
Because you've been neck and neck, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, for practically the whole race, and now you drop to 8 tenths. That's a lot to gain. But then again, we know Luke can also have the same mistake. So Luke gaining 3 positions to be in the lead of this race. And John, of course, was in the lead of this race at the start for this reverse race, and he's in P2.
I'm not sure.
Anything can happen.
It's not going to get him.
Yeah.
Last lap.
Yeah, I don't think now. I think that cost him. That little power slide probably cost him. And of course, the other car there that we saw there, Phil, might have come a little bit into play.
Well, the thing is,
the
only thing for Phil is obviously, he come into play for Luke Maxwell, didn't he? Because obviously Maxwell had to run where he ran. But the thing is as well, is Maxwell's now 8 or 9 tenths ahead of McHutchison. He's only got 2 corners to hold this. Because then McHutchison can't get near him.
See, James, this is also the problem when sometimes when we say you wait until the last lap to get your overtakes done. That's also the problem. You don't do that sometimes because of the fact that if you do make a mistake or something happens, your chances are gone. So
it's gone.
If you tried it a little bit earlier, maybe, but who knows? We're not the drivers. I mean, I'm sure maybe trying to get an overtake any single lap for all we know. But at this point, he looks like he's backed off and just have to accept the P2. But
yeah, he's not going to get this. This is going to be Maxwell's race. I think Maxwell's going to take this. John's too far back. Unless Maxwell has some major dramas coming out here, this is going to be Maxwell's win.
No, he's got
it.
Got it for sure.
Yeah, Luke Maxwell there taking the victory. John McHutchison comes across the line in second. Simon Edwards, stellar job in third there.
Yeah, most places gained again, almost 6 positions, I believe, game or for the front top 10. Yeah, and we're good on Colin, but when Colin comes early on, I have to say good on Colin for the Moving Matters team. He finished in the and once again he's amongst the big dogs. I'm only saying amongst the big dogs when it comes to I rating, as you mentioned, but he's solid job. Only Simon got past him really at the end. That's not bad.
No. Jamie
he had
Bird.
a poor start too, Colin. He dropped a couple of places immediately off the start. That's what hurt him for that.
Yeah, I think from that point of view as well, he's got to be... He'll be happy with where he's at, I think, Colin. He knows his capabilities. He knows what he's got, and he knows, what's available to him within his locker. And he's not one for sitting back going, well, I lost and all that. He'll know where he lost the time. He know what he could have done, but he's also probably going to come back and say, I'm extremely happy with 4th place, because why wouldn't he?
1:14.5, yeah, exactly. He's the best of the rest. He was doing the lap times, considering not the leaders' lap times, but he was doing the lap times best of the rest. But there you go. There's those results, and Martha, of course, down there in P16. You'd like to go through those results for us, please?
Yeah, so we got Luke Maxwell in first place, John McHutchison in second, Simon Edwards in third, Colin Wynn 4th, Paul Clark in 5th, Paul LeMay in 6th, James Child in 7th, Mike Bousson in 8th, Damien G down in 9th place, Graham Brown in 10th, Jamie Bird in 11th, Jorge Gonzaga in 12th, Darrell Taylor in 13th, David Beasley 14th, Phil Glover in 15th, Martina Ward, who had a rotten feature race, down in 16th place. David Rolliston didn't have a good one either, down in 17th, and neither did Dan Webster in 18th place. Beyond that, Seth Brown down in 19th, Graham Brown 20th, Phil Jocelyn 21st, Andrew Derrick 9 laps there, retired the car, and Robert Woodward 17 laps down after jumping the start and then having incidents after that. So unfortunately,
yeah, Robert Woodward, but just tear out that stamp out of your passport for this one, okay? Just add your USA stamp. Say, all right, let's forget about that one and prepare yourself for the next race. Where will we be heading for the next?
Well, next
round
week
there, James.
It is a sprint and feature session coming from the Hockenheimring in Germany. So you'll have currently 8 laps in the sprint and 14 laps in the feature. So yeah, got to be looking out for that one.
Trade out your hot dogs for some bratwursts.
Yes,
all right, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can catch up with the. We can't. We're gonna have to. I think. We're going to need...
We'll jump down there.
I think we're going to need to jump down, Biggles. Let's go and jump into the interview room, and we'll catch up with the drivers in there.
We'll spy in.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are going to be live. Well, you'll be in the live channel right now. James is here. We had to go down to your channel to chat. So, yeah, James.
Good evening, Luke. How are you, buddy? Yeah, we have jumped out to you because there's an issue in the broadcast booth where we can't hear you. It mutes you straight away. But obviously, we are live, Luke. Congratulations there on your win. Nip and tuck with John McHutchison, when you say?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think obviously the mess up in the first race kind of obviously helped me out with the second race, being able to kind of get away with John and stay in his toe and pull a bit of a gap. So I thought, well, let's have a few goes at him and just try and look after the tyres really and save them for the end as you do. But that was great fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. I think you were unfortunate for John there. Lap 17, turn 7, overcooked it going in and lost Well, you saw it was about a second in the end, to coming up just under a second from you as well on that one. You know, it has been a tough night, but there's been some rewards coming out from the fact that you've got the victory. Did you doubt it through the race? Was you waiting for John to make that move on lap 18? Because it looked like it was coming.
Yeah, I think I was quite happy to either, try and get in front and push out, but obviously that wasn't going to happen with John behind. So it was a case of let's do a bit of to and fro and see where we end up. But I felt like the tyres were good. I dropped the ABR bar to hard from the shorter race and the qualifying, just to try and give us a bit more grip at the end, really, and make sure the tyres held up, which they seem to do well there.
Yeah, it was an absolute stellar job from you there, Luke, as well. So, amazing victory. Onwards and upwards onto Hockenheim Ring. Are we expecting a Luke Maxwell victory in Hockenheim?
Well, I barely raced it, to be honest. So we'll have to get some practice in. But then, to be fair, Road Atlanta's not exactly my favourite track. So I was quite pleased with that second race for sure. So let's see if we can do the same next week.
Yeah, I love
should we tell him, James? It's Nordschleife? The full version of it?
That'll do.
I'm only kidding. Yeah.
Right, Luke, is there anyone you want to give a shout out tonight before you leave the booth?
Just to Father Christmas for being such a good guy over the last week.
Absolutely stellar job. Luke, I'm going to drop you up into the broadcast room. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight, and much appreciated.
Cheers, guys.
Take care. Right, let's have a chat with Mr. Simon Edwards. Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm good. Made a mess of that, but I pulled out some results again.
Hey, look, you recovered. You're on a man of a recovery so far. 2 weeks now. You've got third place in the feature race. That wasn't too bad, was it?
Well, the feature race, my car was pretty badly damaged, having hit the back of Dan, so I had no top speed. So I was having to get really close to a good exit out of that hairpin. So apart from that, it was about half a second a lap I was missing there, something like that.
But look,
I explained it. It's Simon in the Unicorn Machine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Simon. I'm calling it your colour Unicorn Machine right now because you sprinkle magic everywhere. You drive it. But what happened to you in qualifying? You were very, very quick during the practice sessions, and then you just kind of like a bit of a mistake in the qualifying. What was the cause of that?
I just made a bit of a mess of the hairpin. I thought everything was okay, but I got one of those instant spins out of it. And I had to just hold the brakes on full lock. It was one of those times where the car just wouldn't stop. And that was it. I couldn't touch the brakes again. Every time I touched the brakes after that, for the last lap, I just locked up. So I didn't have a chance to put a lap in after that first lap. So so that's what happened. But yeah, I should have been able to beat a 13.7 easy. But it's the way it goes. You got to do it. You got to do it, haven't you?
Well, you got a second and third, mate. You know what I mean? You were flying.
Exactly.
So it wasn't a bad night, all in all, was it?
No, I think I made the best as I could out of that. So I'm pretty happy, really. And I had some good battles as well.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one, mate. Onwards and upwards to the Hockenheim Ring we go next week. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
I'm going to give a shout out to poor Dan. So last week he obviously had a boo-boo, and then this week somebody's punched him out as well, and then I added to that punch when he was in front of me. So I'm going to give a shout out to poor old Dan.
Okay, mate. Well,
make sure he doesn't give up.
I'm sure he won't. But Simon, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm going to drop you up into the broadcast room there, buddy. Thank you so much again for joining me. Right, let's
Speaking of Dan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat with Dan Webster. Good evening, Dan. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Not too bad, mate. You took the victory in the sprint. Feature race. Yeah, can you tell us what happened there?
It started well, actually, but a little bit of avoiding action, avoiding somebody else that went off, and then
I think was Martina, mate. Yeah, it was Martina had a moment there, right? And you went right off. Did you get cop any damage? Sorry to cut you in on that, but Did
I
you
don't
hit the
think I
wall
did,
in that one?
if I'm honest.
Okay.
No, I don't think I picked up any damage there. Maybe the tyres were a bit dirty. Maybe I was a bit too optimistic into turn one, but I just ran wide. And then I hit the wall, and then I had to tow the car.
Yeah, that's what we saw there, Dan, as well. But your victory in the sprint, you got points on the board, right? That's one of the things that matter as well. You got points on the board. You're still in and around the championship, so it can't. Yeah, there's been it's been a bit of a rotten evening, and you've not enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, onwards and upwards, right? You're still there.
Yeah, no, I mean, not bad really. I think I've probably used up all my drop weeks now, though. But yeah, it's all good.
Currently sitting in
But Dan,
sixth
that was
place.
that launch off the century. That when won you that sprint race. That was just amazing, mate. You had almost a second on everybody. There was a bit of a carnage at the back that you probably would even seen in your mirrors, but there was a whole multi-car pile up in the
Yeah,
back. But once you got ahead, mate, that was it. They got I think the second place got within about half a second to you maximum all race, but you were like looking forward and not backwards in that one.
Yeah, it was reasonably comfortable. I mean, difficult, it was 9.9 tenths for the whole race, especially when John was behind me. But it was relatively okay. But it was very unexpected because I seemed to lose pace as the week went on during practice. So I had a finely tuned plan to finish 10th in the first race so that I could have pole for the second, but it all went badly wrong.
Yeah, the second race. My last question to you, mate, is that obviously a few of the drivers struggled for the race starts this evening. Should they get what advice do you give them to have great race launches? You did it in first and second race for your great race starts. What's the magic? What's the secret?
I just use a clutch pedal.
Right.
And yeah, just feel really. I used to use the dual paddles and the clutch bite point and all that good stuff, but I gave up on it and I just use a clutch pedal. And 9 times out of 10, I get pretty good starts.
Nice. Right, Dan, onwards and upwards we go for another week here next week at the Hockenheim Ring. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
All the other guys in the league, as always, that make it as fun as it is and race as well as they do and as cleanly as they do and as competitively as they do. So yeah, shout out to them.
Okay, mate. Well, much love, Dan. Onwards and upwards, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Cool. See you next week.
Take care. Right, let's have a chat with Phil Glover. Phil, how are you? We've been trying to talk to you all night, and problems in the Discord, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, it looked when I checked my connection, it looked okay. So was it a problem on your end?
No, it was a problem in the Discord,
us, mate.
It was our issue with the Discord. It was muting everybody, and we couldn't find out a way of how to get rid of it. So there we go. Onwards and upwards we go. Phil, not a bad evening. Bit messy, would you say?
Yeah, the first race definitely wasn't good. I ended up having the wrong setup for the one that I should have clicked. But hey ho. The second race was much better in terms of the making a few places up. But unfortunately, the person to the left of me jump started and I just caught that in my eye, so I went as well. So I had a jump start, so I had to go into the pits.
Did you have a stop and go or drive through?
It was, I think it was stop and go certainly that's what I did anyway. And then for some reason I got it in my head that because it was a feature race, I had the impression that we had to stop for fuel. So each time down the straights I was desperately trying to reduce the amount of fuel I was going to put in the car, which
no,
doesn't help concentration.
No, definitely not there as well. We saw you got a little bit mixed in with the leaders there with Luke Maxwell and John McHutchison. You managed to stay out of the way and just keep the car on the track there, Phil.
Yeah, and who was it? It was on my heels quite a bit. Was it Dave Rolliston?
Yeah, Rolliston.
Maybe it was. He overtook me and we had one or two little tussles there. So, yeah, it was all right.
Okay then, mate, as well. So thank you so much again, Phil, for joining us. Hopefully we'll have these issues sorted out before next week. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Well, I guess just generally anybody that's had a tough Christmas. I think it's I know we all enjoy it, but lots of people out there, unfortunately, are not in the situation we are. So, yeah, big shout out to all those.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Phil, for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. I'm going to pop you up into the casting booth, and I'll finish off with Biggles down here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
Okay, so everybody was in high spirits there, you know, and nobody was kind of really down a bit. Dan Webster, I can understand where he's coming from. You know, getting caught up in other people's incidents is not always great. But, you know, overall, it was a good evening of racing for everybody. You know, there was kind of a mixture of things going on, wasn't there? You know, Martina Ward cutting the grass in the feature race as well, having a bit of a rotten one. So there was a lot going on in that there, Biggles, wasn't there?
Yeah, the jolly old man spread a bit Christmas cheer, I think, to everybody. And even though he said it's a hard times for some people, thanks for Phil. But it's good to be back motor racing. I think that's what lifts people's spirits back up. And that's the reason why, as you mentioned, there was really good racing overall. Cause moments, but we want that. It's excitement. Not want a race where everybody's just following each other, don't you? You need overtakes. You need a bit of carnage and a bit of action. But the spirit of Christmas definitely has flowed through to these racing drivers here at Radical.
Exactly right, guys. That is it from us this evening. What an absolute stellar job it has been as well. We go on to the Hockenheim ring there as well. Don't forget to keep an eye out on the JBB YouTube channel, guys, because we're still not finished. Before the end of 2022, we've got the SRL GT4 Round 4 coming up tomorrow night. So tomorrow night at about 10 o'clock, we've got the SRL GT4 live from Road America, and that will be the final JPB broadcast for 2022 before we go into 2023, of course, and then, well, we're still going. So, but thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening as well, and we look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you all have a fabulous Christmas, a fabulous New Year, and we'll see you in 2023. I've been James Parfitt. He's been Dean Biggles. You all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.